I am about to show you exactly how to rebuild muscle quickly, stop sarcopenia in its tracks, and clear up the brain fog that makes you forget everything after 60. So many older adults struggle with shrinking arms and legs, combined with a memory that just isn't what it used to be, leaving them wondering if losing their physical independence is inevitable. You might be uncertain if getting weaker and more forgetful is just a normal, unavoidable part of aging, but I have seen firsthand that the right daily habits can completely reverse this physical and mental decline. I remember a man named Arthur, who was 72, struggling to get out of his armchair and constantly misplacing his keys around the house. His mistake was eating poorly and resting too much, leaving his muscles starving and his brain severely fatigued. His doctor might have been telling him that resting more and eating less meat was the safest path, which is unfortunately incomplete and often misleading advice. By simply changing a few specific daily food choices, Arthur regained his leg strength within weeks and stopped forgetting his daily tasks. 1. Eat 2 whole eggs for breakfast instead of just cereal or toast. This simple daily change provides your body with the exact building blocks it needs to repair muscle tissue while simultaneously supporting the areas of your brain responsible for daily memory. I remember a woman named Martha who was 68 years old, and she always started her day with a bowl of plain oatmeal because she thought it was best for her heart. Her mistake was entirely skipping protein in the morning, which left her muscles starving for nutrition after a long night of sleep. We corrected this by having her cook 2 whole eggs alongside a smaller portion of her usual daily oatmeal. Within a month, she reported having much more energy for her morning walks and noticed her legs felt significantly sturdier when climbing the stairs. When you wake up in the morning, your body has gone many hours without any new nutrition coming in from food. During this overnight fasting period, your system starts to look for energy, and unfortunately, it can begin to break down your existing muscle tissue to find it. This is a very common reason why older adults experience a slow but steady loss of muscle mass, known as sarcopenia, year after year without realizing why it is happening. Eating a high-quality protein source immediately upon waking stops this destructive process entirely and signals your body to begin rebuilding and strengthening your muscles instead of breaking them down for fuel. Whole eggs are uniquely suited for this morning recovery process because they contain a perfectly balanced profile of nutrients that older bodies can easily digest and use without digestive distress. The white part of the egg delivers a highly usable form of protein that travels directly to your weakened muscles to patch up daily wear and tear that occurs naturally as you age. Meanwhile, the yellow yolk contains a vital nutrient that is directly responsible for helping your brain cells communicate with one another, which is exactly why it helps clear up that frustrating morning brain fog. Many seniors have been incorrectly told for decades to throw away the yolk, but eating the entire egg is absolutely crucial for getting both the physical strength and cognitive benefits you need. If you are someone who strongly dislikes cooking early in the morning, you can easily hard-boil a batch of eggs the night before and keep them safely stored in your refrigerator. In the morning, you simply peel 2 of the cold eggs and slice them up, perhaps adding a very light pinch of salt and black pepper to enhance the natural taste. You can eat these cold eggs alongside a piece of fresh fruit or a single slice of whole grain toast to make the meal feel complete, balanced, and satisfying to your stomach. The goal is simply to ensure that those 2 whole eggs are the very first significant food your digestive system processes each day, setting a foundation of strength for the hours ahead. This early protein delivery ensures your muscles stay strong and your mind stays sharp all morning. 2. Space your protein intake evenly across all 3 of your daily meals. Distributing your food this way ensures your muscles receive a steady, continuous supply of building blocks throughout the entire day, preventing afternoon weakness and physical exhaustion. I recall a man named Robert, aged 74, who felt incredibly weak and fatigued every afternoon around 3 o'clock. His mistake was eating only toast for breakfast and a plain salad for lunch, saving his only portion of chicken or fish for his large evening meal. We corrected this by dividing his daily protein, ensuring he had a solid portion at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. His afternoon fatigue completely vanished, and he found he could work in his garden for hours without needing to sit down and rest. Many older adults grew up with the habit of eating very light meals during the day and sitting down to one large, heavy meal in the evening with their families. While this might have worked well in your 30s or 40s, an older body processes food very differently and simply cannot absorb massive amounts of nutrition all at once. When you eat a huge piece of meat at dinner but nothing substantial during the day, your body can only use a small fraction of that food to rebuild muscle, and the rest is essentially wasted. Your muscles require a slow, steady trickle of nutrition from morning until night to maintain their size, power, and strength as you navigate your senior years. By dividing your food evenly, you keep your body in a constant state of repair and recovery, which is the absolute best defense against age-related muscle loss and frailty. Think of your muscles like a houseplant that needs water. Flooding it once a week is not nearly as effective as giving it a gentle, consistent watering every single day of the week. This steady approach also helps regulate your daily energy levels, preventing those sudden crashes where you feel the urgent need to take a long, heavy nap in the middle of the afternoon. Furthermore, providing steady nutrition to your body helps maintain focus and concentration, significantly reducing the moments where you walk into a room and completely forget why you went in there in the first place. To make this work, you need to look at your daily plate and consciously check that a good source of nutrition is present at breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. We have already established that breakfast should include your eggs, so your next focus must be on adjusting your midday meal to include something substantial and filling. If you typically eat a vegetable soup or a simple salad for lunch, you must add something like a piece of baked chicken, a serving of beans, or a portion of canned fish like tuna or salmon. The portion size for each meal does not need to be massive. A piece of food roughly the size and thickness of the palm of your hand is generally the perfect amount for a senior body to process at one time. For your evening meal, you can simply continue eating the classic dinners you already enjoy, but you might need to slightly reduce the portion size of the meat if you are now eating more during the day. It is highly beneficial to plan your meals a few days in advance so you are not caught off guard and forced to eat a poor lunch out of mere convenience. You can easily cook extra portions of your dinner and save the leftovers in a glass container to quickly heat up for lunch the very next day, saving you both time and effort. This simple scheduling adjustment requires almost no extra money or complex cooking skills, but it completely changes how your body maintains its physical strength and cognitive endurance. This steady routine guarantees your body never has to break down its own muscle tissue for energy during the day. 3. Drink one full glass of water 30 minutes before your meals. This simple hydration habit plumps up your muscle tissues and ensures your brain operates with clear focus while also preparing your stomach to properly digest your food. I have seen this with a woman named Helen, who was 71 and complaining of terrible muscle cramps and severe afternoon brain fog that made reading difficult. Her mistake was going entire days drinking only hot coffee or tea, leaving her body completely dehydrated without her even realizing it. We corrected this by having her drink a tall glass of plain water a half hour before her breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Her muscle cramps stopped entirely within 3 days, and her ability to remember daily tasks and follow conversations improved remarkably. As we get older, our natural physical sense of thirst begins to slowly fade away, meaning you can become severely dehydrated long before your mouth actually feels dry. Water is the primary physical component of your muscle tissue, and when your body lacks fluids, your muscles physically shrink, become stiff, and lose their ability to contract powerfully when you try to move. This chronic lack of hydration is a hidden cause of many senior mobility issues and is often mistakenly blamed on permanent age-related decline when it is actually easily reversible. Furthermore, your brain relies heavily on water to function clearly, and even a tiny drop in hydration can lead to sudden confusion, poor memory recall, and the frustrating inability to find the right words when speaking to your loved ones. Drinking water specifically before a meal serves a vital double purpose for seniors who are trying to actively rebuild their strength and stop age-related muscle wasting. First, it ensures that your body has the necessary fluids required to properly break down the solid foods you are about to eat, making daily digestion much smoother and significantly more efficient. Second, it helps deliver the nutrients from your food directly into your muscle tissues, as water acts like the internal transportation system within your body's circulation. If you eat high-quality foods but remain chronically dehydrated, those vital nutrients will struggle to reach the areas of your arms, legs, and brain that desperately need them to function properly. 4. Take a gentle 10-minute walk within a half hour of finishing your meal. This light movement uses your body's natural circulation to physically push the nutrients you just ate directly into your aging leg muscles where they are needed most. I remember a man named Thomas, age 77, who ate very well but still suffered from incredibly weak legs that made walking to the mailbox difficult. His mistake was eating his meals and immediately sitting down in a soft recliner chair to watch television for hours at a time. We corrected this by having him walk slowly up and down his hallway for just 10 minutes after finishing his breakfast and lunch. His leg strength improved so much that he was soon able to walk entirely around his neighborhood block without needing to stop and catch his breath. When you sit completely still after eating a meal, your blood tends to pool in your digestive system, leaving your arm and leg muscles without proper active circulation. Your muscles need a physical signal to actually absorb the nutrition you have just consumed, and the most powerful signal you can give them is gentle, repetitive physical movement. By taking a short walk, you force your heart to pump fresh, nutrient-rich blood out of your stomach area and drive it deep into the muscle fibers of your lower body. This process actively combats sarcopenia by forcing the body to use the newly digested food for immediate repair and growth, rather than just storing it away or letting it pass through your system unused. Additionally, walking right after a meal is one of the most effective ways to support your body's natural handling of energy and prevent the sluggish feeling that often follows eating. It helps your system process your food gently and steadily, which is incredibly important for maintaining a calm, focused mind throughout the entire morning and long afternoon. When you sit dormant, your body processes food in a way that can make you feel heavy and tired, leading to poor concentration and a remarkably foggy memory. Just 10 minutes of light, continuous pacing completely changes how your body reacts to the food, turning your meal into highly accessible energy for both your brain and your body. You do not need to put on athletic clothing or walk vigorously enough to sweat. The goal is simply steady, comfortable movement at a very relaxed and natural pace. As soon as you finish your last bite of food and clear your plate, stand up and begin walking, either outside on a flat sidewalk or simply back and forth inside your own home. If the weather is bad or your balance is occasionally unsteady, walking safely from your kitchen to your living room and back multiple times is perfectly acceptable and highly effective. Keep your head up, your shoulders relaxed, and breathe normally as you move continuously for a minimum of 10 minutes before sitting down. 5. Add a small handful of walnuts to your daily afternoon routine. This simple snack provides essential fats and plant-based protein that quiet down the hidden inflammation eating away at your muscle tissue while simultaneously feeding your brain for better memory recall. I remember a man named David who was 69 and constantly complaining of sore, aching arms and a terrible time remembering the names of his new neighbors. His mistake was eating sugary biscuits every afternoon with his tea, which flooded his body with inflammatory ingredients that degraded his muscles and fogged his mind. We corrected this by replacing the biscuits with a small handful of plain walnuts each day. His muscle soreness faded noticeably within a few weeks, and he found his memory for names and daily details became much sharper. As you age, your body naturally develops a low level of chronic inflammation, which acts like a slow, invisible fire that damages healthy muscle fibers and brain cells over time. When you consume heavily processed snacks or sugary treats, you are essentially throwing fuel onto this inflammatory fire, accelerating the breakdown of your physical strength and cognitive clarity. Walnuts contain specific, high-quality fats that act as a cooling agent to this internal irritation, protecting your existing muscle mass from being slowly destroyed by your own immune system. Furthermore, these exact same fats are the primary building materials your brain uses to maintain the health of its cells, allowing electrical signals to travel smoothly so you can recall memories without that frustrating delay. By eating them regularly, you are actively preserving the structural integrity of both your muscles and your mind, stopping the hidden damage that many older adults mistakenly accept as normal aging. Many older adults notice that their muscles feel inexplicably tender or exhausted, even on days when they have not engaged in any strenuous physical activity or heavy lifting around the house. This constant, lingering soreness is very rarely caused by actual physical exertion, but is instead a direct result of internal inflammation constantly attacking the delicate fibers of your muscles and preventing them from resting. When your muscles are under this constant inflammatory attack, they cannot absorb the protein you eat effectively, meaning your efforts to rebuild your strength with healthy meals are being completely blocked from the inside. The unique compounds found naturally within walnuts act as a protective shield around your muscle tissues, calming this irritation down so your body can finally begin the process of repairing and strengthening your limbs. As this internal swelling subsides, you will notice that your legs and arms feel significantly lighter, more responsive, and ready to move without the stiff, heavy sensation that usually accompanies advanced age. It is highly recommended to eat these walnuts in the mid-afternoon, perhaps around 3 or 4 o'clock, when older adults typically experience a natural dip in physical energy and mental focus. Consuming this dense source of clean energy during this specific window of the day stabilizes your blood sugar and prevents you from reaching for unhealthy, sugary snacks before your evening dinner. You should always store your walnuts in an airtight container in the refrigerator or the freezer, as the healthy fats inside them are very delicate and can become bitter or spoiled if left out in a warm kitchen cabinet. By taking proper care of your walnuts and portioning them out deliberately each afternoon, you create a powerful daily ritual that continuously feeds your muscles and your brain without any complicated preparation or cooking required. Over time, this small handful of food becomes one of the most reliable tools you possess for maintaining your physical independence and your sharp cognitive function. This afternoon habit protects your muscles from internal damage and keeps your memory sharp until the evening. One more easy change you can try is adjusting your evening routine. 6. Have a few spoonfuls of plain Greek yogurt an hour before bed. This evening routine supplies your body with a slow-digesting source of protein that actively protects your muscles from breaking down during the long overnight fasting hours. I recall a woman named Margaret, aged 75, who woke up every morning feeling physically hollow, incredibly weak, and completely disoriented for the first hour of her day. Her mistake was eating her last meal at 5 in the evening and going 15 hours without any nutrition, causing her body to consume its own muscle tissue overnight for energy. We corrected this by having her eat a few spoonfuls of plain Greek yogurt exactly 1 hour before she went to sleep. She immediately began waking up feeling physically stable and mentally present, completely eliminating that frightening morning weakness and confusion. When you go to sleep, your body enters a prolonged period of fasting, during which it still requires a steady, uninterrupted supply of energy to keep your heart beating, your lungs breathing, and your brain functioning properly. If there is no food left in your digestive system to provide this vital energy, your body has a built-in survival mechanism where it will break down your valuable muscle tissue to harvest the necessary fuel. This overnight muscle breakdown is one of the leading yet rarely discussed causes of sarcopenia in older adults, who often wonder why they are rapidly losing strength despite eating well during the daylight hours. Plain Greek yogurt is uniquely beneficial for solving this specific problem because it contains a dense, slow-digesting type of protein that sits comfortably in your stomach and releases nutrients gradually over many long hours. As you sleep, this steady trickle of protein enters your bloodstream and physically blocks your body from destroying your muscle fibers, ensuring you wake up with the exact same strength you had when you went to bed. Beyond just protecting your physical strength, providing your body with this slow-release protein before bed has a profoundly stabilizing effect on your cognitive function and morning memory recall. When an older adult goes too many hours without food overnight, their blood sugar can drop to dangerously low levels by the time they wake up, which heavily deprives the brain of the fuel it needs to think clearly. This steep drop in overnight energy is exactly what causes that severe morning grogginess, where seniors struggle to remember what day it is, forget their morning routine, or feel dangerously unsteady on their feet. The thick protein in Greek yogurt acts as an anchor for your blood sugar, keeping it perfectly level throughout the entire night so your brain remains calmly nourished while you are deep in sleep. Consequently, when you open your eyes in the morning, your mind is already fueled and ready to operate, entirely bypassing the usual period of confusion and memory fog that plagues so many aging individuals. It is important to understand why Greek yogurt is specifically recommended for this evening routine rather than regular yogurt, a glass of milk, or a piece of meat. Greek yogurt goes through an extensive straining process during its creation, which removes a large portion of the liquid whey and leaves behind a highly concentrated, incredibly dense form of milk protein. This density is exactly what slows down the digestion process, allowing the yogurt to act like a time-release capsule of nutrition that steadily feeds your aging muscles for up to 8 solid hours. Furthermore, this specific straining process removes the vast majority of the lactose naturally found in dairy products, making it exceptionally gentle on older digestive systems that might normally struggle with milk or cheese. By choosing this exact type of yogurt, you maximize the muscle-protecting benefits while completely minimizing the risk of experiencing uncomfortable bloating, indigestion, or an upset stomach that could ruin your peaceful night of sleep. This simple nighttime habit defends your muscle mass while you rest and prevents dangerous morning weakness. 7. Perform simple chair stand-ups while you watch television. This basic movement provides the essential physical trigger your body desperately needs to push the dietary protein you have eaten directly into your aging leg muscles. I remember a man named Richard, who was 80 years old and consuming plenty of healthy protein, but still found his legs growing thinner and weaker every single month. His mistake was believing that simply eating the right foods was enough to rebuild his strength, completely ignoring the fact that his muscles needed a physical reason to absorb those nutrients. We corrected this by having him stand up and sit down in his chair 5 times in a row during the commercial breaks of his favorite evening television programs. Within 2 months, his legs regained their lost density, and he no longer needed to rely heavily on the armrests to pull himself up from a seated position. Your body is incredibly efficient and will only spend the massive amount of energy required to build and maintain strong muscles if it genuinely believes those muscles are strictly necessary for your daily survival. When you spend the majority of your day sitting still in a comfortable recliner or lying in bed, your central nervous system assumes you no longer need powerful legs, so it simply passes the protein you eat right through your system without using it for repair. In order to successfully reverse sarcopenia and force your body to utilize the eggs, walnuts, and yogurt you are eating, you must introduce a physical demand that wakes up the dormant muscle fibers in your thighs, hips, and lower back. The simple, everyday act of standing up from a seated position forces your body to lift its entire weight against the pull of gravity, which sends a loud, unmistakable signal to your brain that leg strength is still absolutely critical for your life. This powerful signal forces the nutrients currently floating in your bloodstream to flood directly into your lower body, rapidly patching up weak spots, increasing vital muscle density, and completely halting the rapid, age-related decline of your personal mobility. Beyond the obvious benefits to your physical leg strength, performing this movement also has a profound, direct impact on the blood flow reaching your brain, which heavily influences your daily memory and cognitive sharpness. When you sit in a chair for several hours at a time, your heart rate slows down significantly, and the volume of fresh, oxygen-rich blood reaching your brain decreases, leading to that familiar feeling of sluggishness and heavy brain fog. The physical effort required to push yourself up out of a chair forces your heart to immediately pump harder, sending a surging wave of fresh blood up through your neck and into the memory centers of your mind. This sudden rush of oxygen and nutrients literally wakes up your brain cells, clearing away the mental cobwebs and making it significantly easier to recall facts, remember conversations, and stay entirely present in your daily life. Regular, gentle muscle contractions like this act as a secondary pump for your entire circulatory system, ensuring that your brain is never starved of the vital oxygen it needs to function clearly and cleanly. Many seniors are unfortunately led to believe that rebuilding muscle requires lifting heavy iron weights, running on treadmills, or exhausting themselves until they are completely out of breath and dripping with sweat. This misconception prevents millions of older adults from ever attempting to strengthen their bodies, out of a very reasonable fear of causing a severe injury or straining their fragile joints. The truth is that your own natural body weight provides more than enough healthy resistance to completely rebuild your leg muscles, provided you move that weight deliberately and consistently throughout your normal week. Chair stand-ups are entirely safe because they mimic a movement you already have to do every single day, but by turning it into a focused, repeated action, you transform it from a simple daily chore into a highly effective muscle-building therapy. This approach guarantees that you build functional, usable strength that directly translates into an easier, safer, and much more independent life within your own home. Aim to repeat this deliberate standing and sitting motion just 5 times in a row, taking a slow, deep breath between each repetition to ensure you do not become dizzy or lightheaded during the movement. Try to complete this small, gentle routine 2 or 3 times throughout your day, perhaps using the natural commercial breaks during your favorite television shows as a simple reminder to stand up and move. If 5 repetitions feels completely exhausting or causes sharp pain in your knees, simply stop at 2 or 3 repetitions, as the goal is to gently stimulate your muscles, not to push them until they are painfully exhausted. Over the course of a few weeks, as your muscles adapt to the protein you are eating and the signals you are sending them, you will find these stand-ups become noticeably easier, faster, and much more comfortable to perform. This basic daily movement ensures the food you eat is actually transformed into solid, dependable leg strength. If you know someone over 50 who could benefit from this, share this video and subscribe for more simple health tips.